I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, July the 1st, brought to you in part by VITALIX. Not all tubs are created equal. Stretch your profits with every single lick. And VITALIX wants to give feeder flash gang members a chance to win free tubs. If you're watching this on NationalBeefWire, click on the VITALIX ad right next to this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, go down into the description and click on VITALIX to get more information on how you can win free VITALIX tubs. Get the blue tub, your cows will love you. For more information, go to vitalix.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. Beaver is closed today on Tuesday for the Independence Holiday celebration, and but I tell you what, they are a growing market. Going to have a chance to talk about them a little bit. They are selling significantly more cattle than they were just a couple of years ago, like twice as many. And they are a big-time regional market now. It's because they're doing things right. They don't sell any trader cattle. In fact, on their radio ads, they say if you haven't had your cattle for 60 days or more, they really don't want them. They are encouraging producers to wean and give shots and wean 60 days, 45 at least, but 60 days preferably. Just do the things to help yourself, and then they are going to be willing to help you all that they can. But I know you're curious about them. They sit in a spot that's in the middle of nowhere, but it's really not that far from anywhere. But check them out on DVAuction.com and go to one of their sales. I think you'll be refreshed there. Midsummer break, and just like Beaver, there's a lot of sales that are closing down either late this week, early next week. Just depends with the 4th of July falling on Friday there. And then you got Joplin Regional Stockyards. They're not even going to have one sale down, plus they're going to have a giant video in between all that. But I think most sales are going to shut down some, and that's the only other time other than Christmas where a lot of markets really shut down for a week or so. But it gives a nice break for some of the order buyers and everybody to be able to take a trip with their family or do some things. Usually don't have a lot of news come in this week, but we did on Monday. I guess they're going to reopen the border to cattle coming across the Mexican border. And you know, we'd got an update here a couple of weeks ago that the Secretary Rawlins come on there, and she said, you know, it was looking good, that some of the things that Mexico was doing was going to help, and they've got a place down there where they're going to breed these sterile flies and have a big bunch of them, and they're going to release them from this side down instead of just down there up. But evidently it's all working, but I'm sure she's getting plenty of pressure from those Texas corporates, because they are missing the Mexican cattle desperately. They love those cattle, and they're ready for some of them, but they are going to start opening the border very soon. They're just going to do it by crossing point. They're going to start out at Douglas, Arizona on July the 7th and start crossing a few cattle. Columbus, New Mexico will be the next one on July 14th. Santa Teresa on July the 21st. And then they're going to go into Texas later on. Del Rio, Texas, August the 8th. And Laredo on September the 15th. They're going to be monitoring this very close, and they are going to just be taking cattle in from the farthest north states of Mexico there, but they are going to start getting things a little bit back to normal. I talked to my friend Tato Medina that runs Santa Teresa Livestock Auction, and he was relieved that he was going to be able to get back to work. In fact, he is planning on having a sale on July the 14th, even though they're not going to be crossing any cattle at Santa Teresa. He can sell cattle from the other crossings. And so he's planning on having some cattle at least come in from Columbus, New Mexico to get ready to sell those. But I'm glad that he's getting back to work and just getting things back to normal. the Texas feedlot areas and even Kansas, they are just not right if they're not getting some Mexican cattle in there. And they've had them for so many years, and they really rely upon those cattle. But I'm sure the feeder board will be down on Tuesday here from that news. I'm not sure, you know, it only adds up to about 3% of total supplies, but it's something that the media and the traders can sink their teeth into. So I'm sure the board will be down some on Tuesday, but I don't think it'll be too awful bad. Coming up on Tuesday, I am coming to you from Pittsburgh, Kansas, here at the Kansas Crossing Hotel and Casino, and this is the site for the Big Bang Primetime Livestock Video Sale through Joplin Regional Stockyards, and they're going to have a big one tomorrow, or here today, I guess, if you're watching this. 60,000 head at least. They're going to start at noon. They've got a big sale, lots of yearlings all over the Flint Hills, the Osage, and then back in northern Arkansas and southern Missouri, and they'll have cattle from everywhere. It'll be one of the big ones, guys. So pay attention to that. And then on the next day, on Wednesday, they're going to have the Coffeyville Stockyards Blue Stem Special. Now, the internet's going to be good. It hasn't always been good in the past, but we've got an internet fix, so it should not have any trouble with the internet. It's going to be July the 2nd here on Wednesday, and it starts at 5 o'clock in the evening. It's at the Crossbell Ranch in Copan, Oklahoma. They're going to have 25,000 feeders, and then just got an update on the consignments. They're going to start off the sale with 3 lots of fancy bred heifers that were not listed in that before. But they're going to have 400 spring calving bred heifers off the Teague Ranch. They'll be fancy. They've got a fancy load of northern red Angus fall calving bred heifers there. They'll be nice. And then they're going to have 2 loads of fall calving bred heifers out of F1 cows, bred back to low birth weight Angus bulls there. But be sure and check that out. Tune into that sale early, because there'll be some of the first things sold. And if you can get out there to that sale. It's a good time. They're gonna feed everybody. They've got a cash bar. They got a tent. They're going to do all this under, and it's kind of a cool place to be there. But this is going to be the last feeder flash this week. So we're going to take a little bit of time off too, and the quotes are going to get kind of hard to come by out of the sale barns the rest of this week. So this will be the last one this week until after the 4th, guys. Let's look at your board on Monday to open the week. June live cattle futures up $1.12 at $225.87. August up 57 cents at $213.87. Your back months were in a wide range from unchanged on the farthest traded month out to up as much as $1.22. August feeder cattle up $277 at $310.67. September up $272 at $310.62. And then your back months up $245 to up $287. Now your grains, I'm going to start talking about the new crop months, guys. That's what everybody's paying attention to. December corn new crop down 1.5 cents a bushel at $4.25.5. Beans for November new crop up 2.25 cents a bushel at $10.27. And September hard red winter wheat down 7 cents on Monday at $5.26 3/4. Now your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade out of the 5 area feeding region totaled only 43,200. The market was down. They traded fewer cattle. That compares with 47,800 the week before and 55,700 the same week a year ago. Last week, out of your 5 area feeding region negotiated, they sold fat steers and heifers from $222 to $235.50. That was $3 to $4.50 lower. Your weighted average on live steers was 229.51, down 537. So June live cattle futures ended with a basis of 364. I guess that's better than what we thought they would get done, but it's still too much. It's not converging, guys. 225.87 to 229.51. Your dress sales range from 365 to 374, $7 to $8 lower. Your weighted average on dress steers 369.52. That was down 705. As a whole, your Northern Plains market was mostly 230 to 233, $5 lower. Dress 370 to 372, $4 to $6 lower. And Southern Plains 222 to 224, a little bit at 225 late, but there wasn't much trade anyway, but $4 to $6 lower. Now nationwide, they sold 52,500 negotiated compared to 59,300 the previous week and 68,900 the same week ago, a year ago. Of the 52,500 last week, 33% of them, or 17,400, were for the 2 to 4 week delivery. Like I said, there, most of it, a lot of it was going on late in July there. Negotiated grid sales totaled 36,800 head. Forward contracts totaled 9,750 head. And formula sales 222,600 head. Of the 4 out of 5 feeding regions that we get information from, Iowa sold 16,950. Nebraska sold 17,200. Kansas 5,850. And Texas only 3,200. So box beef cutout values were mixed on Monday. Choice cuts down 93 cents at $395.56. Selects up 117 at $384.10. Your slaughter, a big slaughter for Monday. For the way they've been killing them here, it was big, a lot bigger than what we've seen lately. 118,000 estimated cattle slaughter on Monday. And that's 7,000 more than just last Monday and 3,000 more than the same Monday a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Virginia Cattlemen's Association, we like to promote them. They're a good outfit. They've been promoting Virginia cattle since 1944, and they remember how to do that. A lot of these associations are getting really political and getting lined up with corporates and getting all this stuff done. They promote Virginia cattle. They promote them out of the country, out of state, anywhere they can do it. They help them market their cattle. They help their Virginia producers market their cattle. Brandon Reeves runs the outfit. He does a great job. Butch Foster is the old crusty marketing agent, and he can absolutely get it done, guys. He's got the contacts. He knows who to call. He can help get your cattle sold. They encourage you to get the Virginia Cattle app. Go to your app store and look for VA Cattle and download that. You can get a lot of information through that. For more information as a whole, go to vacattleman.org. Talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They're working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index late on Monday, after all your sales had finished, was at 314.23, up $1.11. Now your real-time index is up to 314.07, so it's just very close to that. But your index has been running really good here late last week and early this week. But as we go through this holiday, it's going to run lean on cattle. Just because we're having some big video sales here, and they've got a big one at Superior next week, very, very few of those cattle are going to go in the index. They've got to be current delivery, and it's kind of hard to get those cattle the whole delivery period to be within 2 weeks of the sale. And so not very many of those cattle are going to go in the index, and we're going to start to run lean on cattle in the index, and it's going to come down quite a bit. So that's going to affect your way your board trades there. But on Monday, Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City had 4,800 there. They are going to be closed next Monday. But feeder steers in Oak City steady to 3 higher. Feeder heifers 1 to 4 higher. Steer calves steady to 4 higher. And heifer calves $3 to $6 higher. Joplin Regional Stockyards, yes, they had a regular sale at the stockyards feeder cattle auction. They only had 5,700, so that'll loosen them up to have 60,000 here at Pittsburgh, Kansas on Tuesday. But they had a good sale at Joplin. Steers were sharply higher at points because last week it was really hot. It wasn't quite that hot this week. Steers were trading up to as much as $20 higher, especially on the 4 and 5 weight steer calves. Feeder heifers were rather uneven there, but hope to see a bunch of you here at Pittsburgh, Kansas on Tuesday starting at noon. Big sale at Green City Livestock Marketing in Green City, Missouri. That's north central Missouri's Green Hills up there, and they had the first of a 2-day holiday special. Had their yearlings on Monday. They're going to have a few more yearlings and a bunch of fancy calves coming back on Wednesday, and they'll be one of the few Wednesday sales that we see. But they had 2,700 on Monday, and it was your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Handling Equipment, stick-out sale of the day. Look at this automated market report from Cattle Market Central. Very impressive. I mean, these were some of their best old consigners that's been with them forever, and they knew how to get their cattle into shape. The cattle were pretty well wrung out and green, and that's what the buyers want, and they got on there and bought them now. They had 177 head of 6-weight steers, average 635 at 364.85. 320 head of the 7-weight steers, average 755 at 341.29. There were 696 head of 8-weight steers. They averaged 839 at 322.66. Now think about that. Nearly 700 8-weight steers averaged 839 with an average price on all of them of 322.66. Wow. 136 9-weight steers just averaged 905 at 314.10. Look at the heifers, and they probably sold better in comparison. The heifers, 535 head of 6-weight heifers averaged 668 at 350.25. 584 head of 7-weight heifers averaged 751 at 324.35, and 249 head of 8-weight heifers averaged 835 at 294.47. The stick-out deal in Green City of an individual quote was 79 heifers, weighed 684. They're going to feed, guys. They normally go, they got several feeders in there out in Nebraska that buy those heifers to feed. They got them up there high, got taken out on DVAuction from a farmer feeder at 372. 684-pound heifers at 372. Some other individual quotes from all around. How about Tina Livestock in Tina, Missouri, rural northwest Missouri sale. 64 steers weighed 850 at 325.50. That's a big time quote. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday in your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day come out of Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri, right square in the middle of the state. 87 steers weighed 608 at $4 a pound. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.